Welcome to another segment, another episode of How to Make Your Roblox Anime Games Better by the boy Blackstar, right? The boy from nowhere. And today, we're going to talk about game difficulty, alright? And game difficulty isn't really cared about by a lot of game devs on Roblox, or game devs in general, on general console games too, because a lot of people don't really see it as game balance. They don't really see it as a game design feature. But trust me, your game difficulty, if you're making a hard game, you have to... Hold up. That was somebody calling me some food. Little boy gotta eat. But yeah, if you're making a hard game, you gotta make sure that your game's difficulty makes sense and that the things follow the rules of the game. Allow me to explain, right? There's two types of difficulty in Roblox games, right? Or games in general. So you have actual difficulty and artificial difficulty, right? Actual difficulty would be like, I'm gonna use Deep for example, right? Deep got both of these examples. So Deep, right? You fight the ferryman. The ferryman is a well-structured boss, right? It's difficult until you learn how to do it, right? That's how bosses should be. That's how difficulty in games should be. It's difficult until you learn what to do against it, right? Now here goes artificial difficulty. If you play Deep, which a lot of you have, I just did that first example, you've been to the depths. And in the depths, there's something called kill bricks. And you're probably wondering what's the kill brick, right? If you do the Roblox, let me allow me to explain. A kill brick is something you touch and you instantly die, right? And the depths is riddled with kill bricks. Now you're probably wondering what makes that, artificial difficulty. Let me to explain some more. In the depths, every mob in the depths has the possibility to fling you away, except maybe the lionfish, right? But all the mobs in the depth were made, right? Kill bricks were in the game way before a lot of these mobs were put into the depths, right? So all these depth mobs were made with the intention of kicking you into kill bricks. And for the longest, we've been trying to tell the devs, aka Par. Well, see, when I make videos about games, and I try to tell them how to make it better, I'm saying that from a player standpoint, right? So like, I'm saying what I want to say, but I'm saying it in like a watered down way, right? But I'm talking to my friends. I want my friends to be successful. I say it like, in the most blunt way possible, so that way they get it. So I would tell Par all the time, like, your mob designs suck. Like Par can tell you. Anytime we're talking about deep looking mobs, I tell them things are garbage, alright? The design of those mobs are garbage. It's not hard, it's just artificial difficulty. Like, imagine you going through the depths and fucking Sharko just kicks you. Like, don't get me wrong, you can avoid Sharko's kick. But can't nobody in this VC, not in this VC, but can't nobody watching the video tell me you've never once been kicked by Sharko, bro? It's just some people have been unlucky enough to be kicked by Sharko in the depths and they just go and fall into a kill brick. Artificial difficulty, tell them all the time that's not fun, which is why personally I don't go to the depths, but the depths is a good place to EXP and items, so if you go there, you go there. Another example of artificial difficulty in Roblox games that happens a lot actually is when NPCs you fight and don't follow the rules of the game. You're probably wondering what I mean by that. Allow me to explain, right? You ever been fighting an NPC and the NPC do some things that you can't do at all as a player, bro? Like, y'all supposed to be using the quote-unquote same combat system and the NPC do some magical hit through your stun, hit you with like 3 moves at once that shouldn't be possible. Like, the NPC is doing things that don't make sense. That's artificial difficulty, right? And most of the times it'd be a bug. But whenever an NPC changes a game mechanic or gives himself a new game mechanic, there has to be something to go against that game mechanic. Like, using the ferryman again, for example, the ferryman has a much new game mechanic. You don't fight him the same as you'll fight a regular NPC, but guess what? He has gimmicks to him, and you can get past those gimmicks if you learn how to get past those gimmicks. But other times, a lot of other times actually in Roblox games, these NPCs, they do things that don't make no sense. What's a quick example real quick? Hold up. Like, for example, right? You playing like one of the famous Bandit Beater games, right? And you hit an NPC, and the NPC like hits you through your hit stun. You hit an NPC, and the NPC uses a move in your face while they're in hit stun. You see, things like that are artificial difficulty, right? And then if you tell the devil about this, that's just something like, oh no, it's how it's supposed to be. It makes it hard, like, bro, that's not hard, bro. Like, that's not difficult. That's stupid. Another example is Pokemon Unite, a MOBA game, right? And there's an event going on right now where you fight against like NPC trainers based on actual game characters. Like, I think it's like Leon, Raihan, Cynthia, the bitch from Gen 6 that used karate and green, right? So the NPCs not really that good, but what they do is crazy. So in Pokemon Unite, you're able to equip an item, right? And these items are like, almost like Smite, League of Legends. There's like an item that you can use. The item gives you an ability that you can use during the match, but it goes on cooldown, right? You only use one item for reasons of balance, right? These NPCs are one example. Not only do they have almost every item in the game, these items they use have no cooldown. So for example, right? They would pop like X speed, which makes them faster whenever they get low to run away, or they would pop like X attack whenever they get into a fight to do so much damage and then one shot you, or they would use the blinking item to literally blink towards you or blink away from you to not die. And it's like, I realized it I was like, okay, this dude has the. I was like, okay, Lucario has the X speed effect. I can see him moving faster with the blue effect on him. Then I'm fighting Lucario again, and he blinks out. I'm like, yo, Lucario doesn't have a blink in his moveset, so he just used the tool to them twice. Like he used two different tools on me, and the reason that's not fair is because you're breaking the rules of the game. Like you can only have one item equipped it for a reason, and that's not making the game more difficult. That's just breaking the game. That's not fair. It's not good to play against. It's annoying. And once again, annoying does not mean it's difficult. It means the game is annoying. Now you're probably wondering, well, how do you make NPCs difficult, right? Like how do you add difficulty to your game? You know, adding extra damage, adding extra speed. You know, it was like making them do better moves. That's a good level of difficulty, right? You know, sometimes you can be like, okay, fighting more than one enemy. You know, that's also a good level of difficulty. But when the NPCs start, you know, messing up the rules of the game, when they start doing things that don't make sense, or when you add things to your game that you know are not fun to fight against. For example, right, the Mario boss in GPO, right, one of the new bosses they added in the last update, probably like 5-6 months ago, right. But the Mario boss has a main problem where he has a move, the coffin move, where it just hits you like automatically, right. And the problem with that is when he spawns his clone, the clone copies all his moves. So like randomly at any time in the fight, you and your friends are just getting one shot by two coffins closing at you at once, and there's nothing you can do about it. Like that's not difficult, right? You ending the fight instantly without any counterplay isn't difficult. That's annoying. That's not fun to fight against, bro. And lastly, before I go, y'all probably wondering, well, how do you even check if your game difficulty is like, you know, real, if it's even fun to fight against, or if it's unfun? Play your own game. I tell you this all the time. As a dev, if you don't play your own game and have fun with it, something's wrong, right? If you telling yourself, I want to play my game, think about that for a second. You making something you don't want to play, and you expect other people to come there and play it and have fun with it and spend money on it, bro. You're not making sense. Nobody's gonna spend money on something they don't find fun, and if you don't find it fun, you can't expect other people to find it fun. So like I say all the time, don't just sit there with your specs. Go through and play your game like a regular player. See the faults in your game the same way you can make it, and see all the good that you want to do. You feel me? Play a game, and a lot of these problems can be avoided. So pretty much dealing with difficulty, bro. Just make sure when y'all make these games, please test play them. Play them. And if somebody's telling you that a fight in the game doesn't make sense and it's not fun, look at it, bro. Like they not saying this because they trash. Well, sometimes yeah, but you know they not saying this because you know it's too hard. They saying it because it's genuinely not fun to fight against. It's not hard. It's annoying. That's all I want to say. So y'all boys take it easy. Make your good games out there. I need stuff to play. Please drop some games, man. It's Roblox is a job right now. So this is me telling y'all how to drop games. And I told y'all. So once again, don't be out here failing.